Messick's a helping hand with your land.
Hi, I'm Lucas Messick from Messick Farm Equipment in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, and welcome to the 2015 edition of our Christmas Light Show. This year's show, we have a whole mess of tractors. We have about 30 or so pieces of equipment in the show this year, and a lot of lights to show you. So we're going to give you a quick behind-the-scenes tour of how we make all this happen, and we're excited to show it to you, and we hope that you can come out and see the show. So this is the third year that we've been doing a show like this. Our show started out much smaller. A long time ago, 10-15 years ago, we used to have a couple pieces of equipment all done up in lights sitting along the highway here where all of our traffic comes by. They could see the store and see our equipment along the highway in lights. And then we modified that into doing a couple pieces for our local Christmas parade in Elizabethtown, and then we started doing some basic animation on some of the floats and stuff that we would put in the parade. And then in 2013 we decided to do a full-blown show with animation and music, and inviting people to come see it here, park their cars, sit and watch with their family to actually see a show. So this year's edition of the show features more equipment, more lights, and it's kind of bigger and better. That's what we're shooting for. Our light show is totally free of charge to anybody who wants to come see it, so if you're interested, we invite you to come out. We collect donations for some local charities that we've selected that benefit local people, mostly in areas of hunger and homelessness. In the past couple of years, we've benefited such charities as Mennonite Disaster Service, Paxton Street Home in Harrisburg, Water Street Missions in Lancaster, the Elizabethtown Community Cupboard, and Love Inc. This year we'll also be benefiting Habitat for Humanity is building a home in Elizabethtown, and so we'll be contributing to that as well. Well, we realize that not everybody is able to give, so if you are able, we're very thankful for that, and if you're not, that's fine. We're just happy that you're here to see the show. The last couple of years, we didn't really know what to expect when we started this. We decided we would put on a light show and see who showed up, and if they wanted to give us donations, we'd be happy to collect them. In the first year, in 2013, the first year of the show, we collected right around $25,000, which totally blew us away. It was awesome that we had that much support from our community, and it really felt great to be able to give back to our community on behalf of those who donated to us. And the second year, we also raised around $26,000, and so in 2 years, we've raised over $50,000, which we're thrilled. All right, welcome to Santa's Workshop, as I like to call it. This is Christmas Light Central. This is the showroom directly behind where the show is set up, and this is kind of where we keep everything to get things set up. And so you can see that we have every kind of Christmas light that you could imagine. This is what it takes to put on a good show. So we have all kinds of different lights. We have white, greens, yellows, reds, blues, icicle lights, LED lights, red, green, blue, color changing lights, but it makes for a great show. And so to get this whole process started, we start on our show in the summer. I do the musical directing of the show, and so I start listening to Christmas music around, this year I started listening to music around August. It takes a long time to find good music that I personally like, because as you'll see in a bit when we show you how we do the programming of it, I listen to these songs a couple hundred times before we get everything correct, so it's got to be a song that I like to listen to. And so once we pick our music, sometime in the fall, once we have a good idea of what our inventory levels are going to be, and we know what pieces of equipment we'll have available, we do a mock setup outside with our equipment, get a good idea of just to kind of visualize what we want the show to look like this year, and then we take a picture of that, which you'll see when we get to the software portion of how that picture helps us to visualize what we're programming. All right, so this is our picture that we took earlier this fall. This is the mock setup that we did back in September, and so We set this up to get an idea of what we hope the show will look like, and then we use this picture and we put it into our programming software and draw out where channels will be, and then it ends up looking a little something like this. And so all those lines drawn over top of the tractors and on the building and everything, each of those represents a channel, and so we can program when to turn channels on and off. And then in the programming software, once we want to see what things look like, we program whatever we have in mind, and then we hit play, and through your computer speakers it'll play the music as well as give you a visual representation of what the show will look like. And so here's a quick clip of the Siberian Sleigh Ride song that we're doing this year. And so when we're programming it, this is what we see. We don't actually see the show outside on the equipment until about a week or two before everything goes live. All right, now I'm going to give you an overview of how the software works. We put all of our lights up and we plug them into these computer boxes, but then we have to tell what the computer's to do. And so this is how we do that part of it. We use Light-o-Rama's software. We use their computer boxes as well, and then the software tells the light controllers what to do and tells the lights when to turn on and off. And so this is what the software actually looks like. This is the same section from that Siberian Sleigh Ride clip that you just got to see. And so here we have, like I said before, we have 311 different channels, and so each channel is represented by its own row here, and then our columns go over the period of time. And so each of our musical selections are about 3 minutes long for 12 total minutes of music, and each of those songs, we divide everything into 1/25th of a second blocks. And so in 25th of a second increments, we're telling each channel here to be turned on or off, or fade out or fade in. If it's a light that we can change colors, we tell it what color to be. And so when we do something like a run down a light pole, where we're going from top to bottom on a light pole, it looks something like this, where we have each of the 8 different channels and we turn them on and off for a period of time, turn it on, fade it out, and then incrementally have them turn on and off, and then that creates that fade. So there's a lot of work that goes into making this show happen. In the programming portion, the back end, the software part, each one of those songs takes 20 to 25 hours to program, and so we have about 80 to 100 hours of time spent just telling the lights to turn on and off, and then we have an additional about 100 hours of setup time. Of course, all of this is made possible by Kubota Tractor Corporation, which has generously donated some money to offset some of our construction costs. Of course, we don't get these lights for free, and so we're very grateful to Kubota for how they've helped to provide to make this happen. And now that, since I've showed you some of the back end kind of things, Neil's going to show how we do the construction.
My name is Neil Messick. I'm Lucas's older brother. He mentioned that we have a bit of a division of labor among ourselves here for how some of this goes together. I kind of function as the electrician and computer IT side of this whole thing. There's a couple of things that we have in the light show that are a little bit different that you may not have seen before. One thing that we've been experimenting with here is these strips of lights. These are called RGB light strips. They're weatherproof. Each one has 150 individual little bulbs across here, each one having the color red, green, and blue mixed into it. By taking the control boards and varying the amounts of red, green, and blue, we can create just about any color in the rainbow. And we use these here on this 24 channel, basically what we call the piano. Lucas likes to take this in the shows where there's piano parts and make this follow the keys. It makes a really neat effect. We've also used them up on the roof lines of the building as well to be able to change the color of the roofs and give a really sharp, almost line looking effect, as these things are spaced only about an inch apart from one another. If you've ever seen a computerized light show on the internet before, most everybody uses the same control software and hardware boards. Light-o-Rama is the name of the system that we use. This right here is a 24-channel DC board that we're using on the back side of the piano. So 24 wires can run into this board here in order to change those red, green, and blue colors across the board. If you're local here to us in Pennsylvania, Hershey Park Dutch Wonderland, Sweet Lights, most everybody even at that scale runs the same system. Every year that we go by that we do this, we always have to try to find something new to make the show interesting. One of the tips that we've come up with for equipment companies doing these kinds of things is to wire the headlights and the pieces of the tractor into the show itself. So we've actually taken the headlights here of this utility vehicle and wired the headlights into those 24-channel DC boards. One of the quick challenges that we found when doing that is that headlights draw a lot of amperage. We actually overloaded and smoked some of the channels on our control hardware by experimenting with this process. Here this last year we went on to eBay and found some $2 LED replaceable headlight bulbs and actually fitted these into the back of the RTV here. So just by removing the factory halogen bulbs, snapping an LED bulb in and wiring up to that, we're able to lower our amperage a lot and not worry about overloading the system. Here's a spoiler if you haven't seen the show yet this year. One of the new things that we came up with was using this air-powered piston here. This is something that we actually built for ourselves for trade shows. A lot of times when we go to a trade show, we're out in the middle of an acre, 2-acre lot, a big space, and so in order to let people know where we're at, we bought this thing off of eBay. It's a pneumatic piston that's used in the back of a TV news van in order to raise the antennas. So for trade shows, we put banners and that kind of stuff on it to denote where we're at. We figured out here for the light show that we would be able to use this. So we took the metal frame here, ran lights off in order to make it a tree shaped, and then also put a big star on the top in order to light it and make it look cool. So during the show, this thing will actually raise up and down using a series of solenoid valves right down here that are tied into our DC light controllers. So these valves right down here at the bottom will open the pressure line up to fill the thing up and boost it up, and then open up again in order to vent it and let it back down again for the next show.
Thank you very much for watching our behind the scenes tour of how the light show happens. If you're interested in coming to the show, we invite you to check out messicks.com, where we have all the information of our show times and dates. You can also check out our YouTube channel for more videos like this, as well as some of the past year's shows. Thanks.